Now it's on to my favorite part of the show is what was your favorite move of the day, or who was the most improved team? Who do you think is the winner of NBA trade deadline?
I got a feeling I know where you're going to go on this, so I'm going to go.
Spurs?
It's always the Spurs. That's right. I'm going to go a different direction. I will take. Look, I want teams that are going to be. I like teams that are going to be bold and say, "Hey, we're going to go after this thing. We're going to win it. We're not going to sit and wait for Golden State to get worse. Let's go at Golden State. For years now, it's like, oh, the Lakers. Denver's not waiting around. I like that maybe they look back at Jeremy Grant differently now, but they went and got a backup center that they needed to give them size in JaVale McGee with Aaron Gordon. And they've got a wing defender and a guy who can hit some shots to go with Michael Porter Jr. and of course Jokic and Jamal Murray. That is a team going for it. Whether they will get there, we'll see. But that's a team that's gone all in and say, I want to win. We're going to compete this year. We're going to compete next year. I like that. I like that they've gone in like that.
I agree with you. I'm in the same direction. We're moving to Denver together. I think Denver is definitely the winner here because Jokic needed help, and that was evident. I mean, if you watch in the NBA this year, you know that the reason why he's an MVP candidate is because he literally had to do everything for that team, and he's done a phenomenal job. But I think it's clear that he needed some extra help, and I think what Aaron Gordon gives him is that little bit of extra help, and JaVale McGee as well. I love the move that Denver made. I also think exciting down the road, Chicago for sure. But it's too early to tell. Like I said, but at the end of the day, Kurt, when you have the Knicks as a playoff team, the Celtics, I know that they're kind of underperforming at the moment, but they're a very exciting franchise again. Then you have the Bulls that hopefully are going in the right direction, and the Lakers are the reigning NBA champions. This is good for the game of basketball.
Yeah, it is good.
Those are some of the four most important franchises in the game, and if they're good, then that's great for the exposure and for the game's health overall. So I'm thrilled. I hope Chicago can figure it out because when Chicago Bulls are good, I mean that's great for basketball.
Yeah, I'm with you. Look, when the big franchises, the big names, when the Lakers and the Knicks and the Bulls and the Heat are good, it's like in college football. We want Notre Dame and Alabama. And maybe not. You probably don't want USC, but like but Notre Dame, did we mention them again? But when the big powerhouses are good, I think it's good for the sport. I think that's true in the NBA as well.
And the last little tidbit I want to throw in, Kurt, is I saw a crazy stat line. OKC now has 34 draft picks through the next 7 years. I think they are low key. I think the winners maybe of the past year or all sort of trade. I mean, that is unbelievable. 17 first rounders and 17 second rounders over the next 7 years.
They have stockpiled. They have hoarders. It's Sam Presti's on an episode of Hoarders with all his picks piled up. But you know what? Some of those they'll use. A lot of them they'll trade. It lets you take gambles on players, right? And say, well, if we miss, we've got all the, you're going to get a lot of bites at the apple. And I think ultimately that's what happened in Philadelphia. As much as the Sam Hinkie thing went weird, right? Take a lot of bites at the apple. You end up with Joel Embiid. You end up with with Ben Simmons. You get some other young players. You take a lot of shots. Not everything pans out, but when enough do, suddenly you're going to be good. And last time Sam Presti went this route with a team, that's Seattle/Oklahoma City team turned out to be pretty good, man.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of guys who are memorable from that team. But that wraps it up for NBA trade deadline. We'll see what happens with the second half of the season.